2004 Toyota Sienna, dual air conditioning systems, so it had the evaporator in the back too. 810 grams. Will it focus? Yes, 810 grams on this one. And I'm about to charge it up. We're pulling down, we're into the 300 micron range, so we're doing good. It has a new condenser on it with a new desiccant material, you know, for drying the system. So let's charge this guy up, and it would really help if I actually turn the scale on. That would be helpful. Come on, focus. Apple is really trying to screw with everybody who owns an Apple iPhone 6 still, like myself. Their software downloads are really screwing with your phone, with dictation, with many features on the phone. Apple is intentionally trying to make their old users drop their phones by making them not work correctly. And I'm suffering since I own several of these phones. The ones that never were upgraded, they work fine. As soon as I do this Apple software upgrades to the latest versions, there's a whole bunch of problems. So Apple is going through a process of eliminating old customers with old phones because they want to force you to buy a new phone by screwing with the software. So let's get back to this. Charge time. We're definitely doing good there. So I'm going to turn off the vacuum. High sides open, low sides already closed. I'm going to charge it up to 810 grams. Let's make sure this is zeroed out. Let's confirm that the scale is working. You always want to confirm. Never trust, no matter how much you like a device or a company or a brand name, never trust electronics. So we're capable of going up in weight, down in weight. Let's turn off the vacuum. And let's do the scale. I got a skylight that's causing a lot of blur here. Okay, I'm gonna open up. See, vacuum's off. I don't want to get sprayed in the face by a vacuum pump. Open. There we go. So I just opened up the flow of refrigerant, and we'll go up to roughly 800 grams. And we're getting there. This is a big system, dual evaporators. Well, big system compared to cars, so not to residential, commercial. And, there we go. We are almost there. I'll live with that. Okay. So that's it. Close the high side. I had that way too open. And start it up. Oh, wait a minute. He put a new compressor in here. So, can I get my hand down there? Oh, this is going to be a... They did an oil balance. And, oh, I got to go over that with you. So, let's see. Damn, I can barely get my fingers down there. That is a tough guy. I can barely move. So what I'm trying to do right now is move the shaft. Now that one's a little different. This one has the original plate on it, but as you can see, it's attached to the shaft. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to push with my fingers and get the pistons to pump the oil out of the system, because they poured the oil out. So if you could see in here, the oil that they poured out of the new compressor. Let me get this out. So this is all the oil they poured out of the new, minus 2 ounces. So here's the old compressor, and I told them what comes out of the old compressor. So they poured the oil out of the old compressor into another container, and they got 2 ounces of oil out. So then they poured the oil out of the new compressor, and they got like 6 ounces of oil out. 6 or 7, I think it was, whatever they had. So to balance the oil, they did not put the whole 6 ounces back into the new compressor. They only put in 2 ounces. So what came out of the old compressor, the quantity of oil that came out of the old compressor went back into the new compressor to do the oil balance. It's really that simple, basically. Sometimes you'll get compressors with no oil in it because they ran the system so low on refrigerant, it pumped the oil and cleaned out the compressor, and it's all stuck in the rear evaporator, especially when you have a 2 evaporator system and the lines run down low. There'll be a ton of oil stuck back in there if you run the refrigerant really low. So that was that process that was performed. So we got our running system now. Get my fingers. Doing this, holding the phone and doing this is nearly impossible. So this is something when you could get your hands down that, thank God, if I had big hands, I would not be able to do this. Guys with big hands, you'd have to get a screwdriver or a pick or something, and you'd have to touch where the rivets are, and you'd be pushing down and taking a long time. It's hard with enough with the hands, but to spin the nose of the compressor, the clutch, see how dirty I got, god dang it, to get the oil out of the compressor before you start it. Do not start the compressor when they have oil in them brand new with oil in them. You have to rotate them. Your instructions on your box will tell you that, or the manufacturer's website of the compressor. When you go to their manufacturer's website to look up instructions, I know all you guys do, right? Everybody goes and looks up instructions and reads, correct? Yeah, not too often. And so let's turn the system on. Cold, mask, high for the rear, turn on the AC, and I have the rear on. Yeah, cold, high. All right. So, and I can feel it coming out cold. Maybe not. Oh, let me turn this one down because I had that off. I didn't want, I put dye in the system right here. I pumped dye into the system. So we're running right now, and you can see how cold it is outside. It's only 64 degrees outside. And all right, so that was as simple as it. I just wanted to show you that it's a dual system, putting in a little refrigerant, and the importance of oil balance, how to dump out the oil. I wasn't here because I wasn't here. The technicians who were working at this shop performed these procedures. They called me up on the phone and asked what should they do, how do they do this, because they weren't very comfortable with the procedure. So I talked them through the procedure over the phone, and then when I got here they showed me what they took out, and they told me exactly what they did to balance the oil, the way I talked them through on the phone. That was all my concerns, was just to make sure that they did an oil balance. Otherwise, all this extra oil would be in that system, and you get reduced cooling output because all this oil would be in the evaporators, and oil doesn't conduct heat like refrigerant, so you have poor cooling. Sometimes you'll get a humming or a buzzing or a harmonic kind of sound from the pistons on this type of system trying to compress a lot of liquid oil that's coming back to the compressor. It caused elevated high side pressures and pulsations, and on this Denso, a lot of the pressures on the back of the front shaft seal, and the pressure can be excessive, and you usually have, you know, maybe a year, 2 years later, you have a new compressor you put in, but the front shaft seal fails, and you'll see oil flinging out all over the place from the front shaft seal because somebody didn't perform an oil balance when they put in the compressor, especially if it's the second or third compressor, and they keep doing that and the oil keeps building up in the system. So very important to do oil balance. And this is going to be one of the shops. He's not going to be around probably next year. They're selling the building and it's going to become condominiums. So this shop has been in business, I think, since 1972, I think. And anyway, they never recovered very well after COVID and the shutdown. So this will be another one of my shops who are going to be nothing more than in the history books. All right, guys, I'll see you later. And why are my temperatures not reading? I'm having an issue here. Let's see. Give me my temperatures. Let me just shut off and start off again. I'm trying to see the temperatures of the... nope. Figure that out later. Alright guys, I'll see you later. This is a good one. Not very detailed, sorry, but I gotta get off to my next jobs. I haven't been putting out too many videos in the last couple days or of any detail because I have too much work. See you later on the next one.